Shabbat Shalom, everybody. For our Saturday morning service, as opposed to last night we used Mishkan Tefillah, the blue prayer book, but for Saturday mornings until about January, we're still going to be using our old Trumat Halev. So it's orange, or it's orangish color, either underneath you or in front of you. And we begin our service on page 46 with Matovu.
Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma'ani berov chastecha avo veitecha eshtachave el heichal kodshecha Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael.
We turn to page 51. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shi'or. These are the things that have no measure, and please join me. Leaving the corners of the field for the poor, the offering or the first fruits to the priest, making pilgrimage to Jerusalem, acts of kindness, and the study of the Torah. These are the things, the bounty which one consumes in this world, while the principle remains for us in the world to come, and they are honoring father and mother, acts of kindness, supporting the house of study, providing hospitality, visiting the sick, rejoicing with bride and groom, burying the dead, praying with intent, and bringing peace between two people. And the study of Torah is equal to them all. We continue on the next page with Elohai Neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Ata verata, ata yitzarta, ata nefachta bi. Me'ata meshamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenatata bi tehorahi. We continue on the next page with a slightly different version of Nisim B'chol Yom, our daily miracles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
It's our great pleasure to welcome Amy to the Bima as she presents Avi with a very special talit.
First, you know how hard Aunt Marcia has worked on your tallis bag that has your name on it. I think she started working on the needle pointing this when you were 8. And this beautiful tallis that you're gonna wear today was Daddy's. And I know that you wanted to wear it because it would feel like Daddy was hugging you, and we know that he is. And the Al Torah that Aunt Marcia needle pointed to make this personal for you. It has your Hebrew name on it. It's ill beneficial. And this is a big boy tallis, so that when you grow even bigger and taller than you already are, I'm not gonna say better because you're the best right now, but you will take this with you in your life, and every time you're in a shul and you put on your talit, you will know that Daddy and Aunt Marcia are there with you. Okay? Here we go. Every time, sweetie.
We turn to page 62 with our Chetzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba B'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael B'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach Le'alam u'le'almei almaya Yitparach Yitparach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei V'yitadar v'yitaleh V'yitalal shemei dekudshah בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן מעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We rise.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
We turn to page 64. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hama'ir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, u'tavo mechadesh b'kol yom ta'amid ma'aseh v'reishit, ma rabu ma'asechach Adonai, kulam v'chochma asita, malach ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, v'al milrei or shasita, Yefarucha Sela. Or Chadash al Tzion Teir, V'niskei Kulan Mehoro Lehoro. Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamarot. We continue on bottom of page 66.
Lord our God, you have loved us with an abundant love. You have taken bountiful care of us. Sovereign source of strength, because our ancestors trusted you. You taught them the laws of life. Be kind to us and teach us.
O merciful one, have mercy upon us, and incline our hearts to understand, to comprehend, to hear, to learn, to teach, to observe, to behold all the words of your Torah's teaching with love.
Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Let our hearts cling to your commandments and unite us to live and to revere your name.
Then we will never be put to shame. We have placed our trust in your great, holy, and awesome name.
We will rejoice in your deliverance from the four corners of the earth. Bring us upright to our land in peace. For you and for the author of every deliverance, in truth you have chosen us and brought us close to your powerful name, to thank you and to lovingly proclaim your unity.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who has chosen your people Israel in love.
Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu chemla gedola biteinu באבותינו, באמותינו, שבטחו בך, ותלמדי חוקי חיים. כן תכוננו ותלמדנו, כן תכוננו ותלמדנו. אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אהבתנו אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה מתורה, חמלת עלינו, חמלה גדולה מתורה, חמלת עלינו. בהאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, מייחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם בעת, כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא פתחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
I shall love Adonai with my God with all my mind, with all my strength, and with all my being. I will set these words which you command me this day upon my heart. I will teach them faithfully to my children. I will speak of them in my home and on my way. When I lie down, when I rise up, I will blind them as I sign upon my hand. I will let them be a symbol before my eyes. I will inscribe them on the doorposts of my house and on my gates. I will be mindful of all the mitzvot and do them. So shall I consecrate myself to my God. You, Adonai, are my God, who led me out of Egypt to be my God. You, Adonai, are my God.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem Emet.
True and upstanding, beloved and precious, awesome and powerful, good and beautiful is the eternal word for us.
Page 71. In truth, the God of the universe is our ruler, the rock of Jacob is our protecting shield. Throughout the generations, God is established, and God's name is established. God's words endure forever, faithful and precious through all eternity.
You have redeemed us from Egypt, eternal our God, and rescued us from the house of bondage.
For
For this, your beloved people praised you and exalted you as God, singing songs of praise, blessings, and thanks.
The sovereign, ever-lying God is exalted and awesome. Humbles the proud and raises the lowly, frees the captive, rescue the humble, helps the poor, and answer the people who they cry out.
All blessings to God Most High. Moses and all Israel sang together this song of rejoicing. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele, Adonai imloch leolam ba'ed. Shira chadasha shimechu geulim, לשמחה על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי דה 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 דה, יאי דה 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 דה, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da. Tzur Yisrael. Be'ezrat Yisrael ufetei chineumecha Yehuda b'Yisrael go'aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Kedosh Shemo Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
For those who are able, we rise together for tefillah.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם, אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד קוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
In every generation we will tell you greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, will never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Lord, the Holy God.
ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו ממלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
We continue to page 80. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest be pleasing to you. Make us holy through your mitzvot and grant us share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. With love and desire, bestow upon us your holy Sabbath. May Israel who rests on Shabbat sanctify your name. Blessed are you, Lord, who makes the Sabbath day holy.
Amen.
Desire, Lord, our God, you people Israel, and with love accept our prayers. And may the worship of Israel, your people, always be pleasing in your sight. O God, who is close to all who cry out, turn your face toward your servants and be gracious unto us. Pour out your Spirit upon us, and with mercy let out your eyes behold the return to Zion. Blessed are you, Lord, who restores the divine presence to Zion.
Amen.
We continue responsively on page 83. We're grateful that you are forever our God and God of our ancestors, that you are the rock of our life, our protector and our Savior.
We thank you and sing your praises for our lives which are in your hands, and for our souls which are in your care, and for the miracles that are with us each day, and for the wondrous gifts that you bestow at all times, evening, morning, and midday.
Kind one, whose mercies never fail, merciful one, whose blinding love will never end. You have forever been our hope.
Our Savior and Protector, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. In good, mercy of our King.
Grant peace, goodness, and blessing grace, loving kindness and mercy to us and all to your people Israel. Bless us, source of life, each of us with light of your presence. For by the light you have given us eternal our God, a living Torah and unbreakable love, justice, blessing, and mercy. Life and peace may it be worthy in your sight to bless you people Israel. Now and always with your peace, blessed are you, Lord, who blesses you people Israel with shalom.
Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uveracha, chen v'chesed berachamim aleinu me'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Amen. We take a few moments for silent prayer.
Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael me'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It means so much to me that all of you are here, whether in sanctuary or at home watching via live stream. I would like to talk for a moment about what it means to become a bar mitzvah, and then I will talk about my parasha. To me, being Jewish means being part of a community where we are accepted and respected. As a Jew, I take a responsibility to help others, not just people in my temple or my individual community, but for all people, no matter who they are, where they come from, what color their skin is, what religion they practice, whether they are young or old. And most relevant to me in today's parasha, whether they are a boy or a girl. I think that for each person, God speaks to them in a different way. For me, God speaks through internal motivation. The voice inside me that's always pushing me to do better than I was the day before. It means to be kind to those even if they are not kind to us. Sometimes Judaism teaches us to give others a second chance. We also help those who need it now. Those in present, and no matter their background. As a Jew, I have an obligation to help. My mom always says, we meet people where they are and help them there. As I become a bar mitzvah, it's almost like I'm signing a contract, not only with God, but with the Jewish community. My contract says I will help, I will accept, and I will respect you. I'm committing myself to making sure that I help people, whether it's helping my mom bring bags of food to those who need it, or reading to someone who cannot see, or whether it's just being a friendly face to someone who has been isolated. I want to help all people to live better lives. To me, this is what Judaism is. We are in a convenient we sign a contract that has the same basic parts, but it also personal. To me, this contract that I am signing with myself, as well as with God, is about my own motivation and connection to do good. I've always been proud to be part of Birmingham Jewish community. I've seen first in how we respected each other. We take care of each other, and I have always tried to bring these aspects to the greater community as well. But I have to tell you, as I read my Torah study for this Shabbat, Parashat Naso, I become more and more confused. There's a part of it in that seems to go against the idea that we are all created in the image of God, that all of us are worthy, both men and women. Parashat Naso starts by talking about the census of the Levites and the duties of the tabernacle. But then it talks about a very different issue. Women who were accused of adultery by their husbands and processed to judge them. If a husband suspects his wife of committing adultery, he would accuse her before a court. The wife is then given a choice, either accepted, divorce, or drink. Bitter waters, which was liquid to soaked in parchment that had the section of a Torah written in ink. If the woman's stomach became bloated and she died when she drank it, then she was found to be guilty. If not, then she was innocent. Mind you, the husband could just suspect that his wife had committed adultery. He didn't even need to have a real evidence. This ritual was awful and very humiliating to the woman. It's not just that a husband could poison his wife, it's that if he could do that, then it changes the whole relationship between the husband and the wife and forces the woman to live in fear. It puts the man in a position of power and leaves the woman vulnerable. While the story takes place, but in biblical era, there are similarities even in today's world. People are isolated, exiled, quarantined, subjected to ridicule or abused simply because of their gender or skin color. History has a strange way of repeating itself. Shouldn't we learn from the past and realize that we don't have to repeat the actions of others? More importantly, learn from the past and realize that it is our responsibility to take the best lessons in adapting to the new challenges. Parshat Naso means to lift up, but this chapter of the Torah seemed to bring women down. This is completely opposite of what I have been taught in my entire life. But in Judaism, we are empowered to challenge our sacred Jewish literature. I've been taught to respect, value, and cherish one another, no matter whether male or female. We can take this even further in today's society. There are still places where women are held back in vulnerable positions. But we also see that this applies to people of color, the LGBTQ community, followers of different faiths, and so on. It would be wonderful if everyone could just live peacefully and respectfully with one another. I have made my internal motivation to be there for others, to help others feel empowered, and to help all live a good quality of life, even when they feel denied or less than. Being a bar mitzvah is about becoming a man. I'm only 13, but I think of the type of man I want to be and how I want to build the changes the world of my future. I know that whatever is going I go in life, I will always take the lessons of examples that my parents and family and friends instilled in me. Thank you for being here and supporting me now in my future. Shabbat Shalom.
It's a good thing to tie before we take out the Torah. With a spirit of learning, we now move to our Torah service on page 89. And for the honor of opening the Ark, we welcome to the Bima Bob Osterman and Kim Blatt and Lador Vador from generation to generation. We welcome Amy and Uncle Howie. Come on up. We rise together.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kemasecha malechutecha malechut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor Adonai Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom av harachamim eitiva v'irtzonecha et Tzion tivnei chomot Yerushalayim
I'd like to start by thanking everyone who has helped us to get to this day. Sarah at Temple Bethel, Rabbi Wright, Cantor Whitner, Cantor G, Linda, and everyone in our Temple Emanu-El family. I want to thank our family and our friends who are here with us today and those that are live streaming from their homes. As I prepared to write this for your bar mitzvah, it actually was harder than I thought it would be. I mean, how can I adequately put down into words my uttermost feelings of pride and love for you as you now reach a new status within Judaism? It seems like only yesterday you were sitting in your high chair eating soggy Cheerios. From the moment you were born, and I stood there in the nursery preparing to give you your first bath, thankfully the nurses were caring and compassionate and could sense my fear. They assured me that you would not break. Then the doctor came in to check your heart for any murmurs and also your hearing, and I just held my breath and wanted to have him tell me that you were perfect. This overwhelming feeling of love for you came over me. The realization that I was a mommy and you were my son. I wanted to protect you and take care of you always. You are kind, sensitive, loving, generous, polite, and very thoughtful. These are traits that are obvious to all who meet you. I am told over and over by your friends' parents what a wonderful friend you are. I am always filled with pride by hearing this. Daddy and I were over the moon when we heard we were going to be parents to a son. Daddy started making plans of what he wanted to do with you and for you. He did his little happy dance. He imagined all the ball games and teams that he would coach and watch you play as I cheered you on. I'm so grateful that he was able to do that. We also talked about this day. I know that he is watching you with Grandma Elaine and Grandpa Herbie, Grandpa Bob and Grandma Frances and Uncle Bill, and they are all so proud of the wonderful young man that you are. You were his best buddy. I loved watching the two of you wrestle with each other, or just sitting together watching The Lion King or the Home Alone movies. That was your thing. The darkest moment in our lives, when Daddy passed away, has shaped you into the incredible young man standing before me today. You grew up quicker than you needed to, and I am so sorry that I couldn't protect you from this pain. You have encouraged me to smile and to be happy, and have told me numerous times that just because it's just the two of us, it doesn't mean we can't be happy. I am so proud to be your mommy. I have watched you take something so sad and use it to become tenacious and determined. These are qualities which will ultimately help you succeed in life. You always think of others first. You are always wanting to give something to the homeless that we pass on the street, whether it be money or simply the leftovers from where we have eaten. You just want to make sure that they have food, and you worry about where they are going to sleep, or even if they are able to take a shower. I remember dropping you off in carpool at Cahaba Heights Elementary, and my words of advice to you every day were, do your best and forget the rest. And that truly came through for you today. You have so many gifts. You could do anything that your heart desires. I want to tell you that it's not so important to set the world on fire, but rather to kindle love in people's hearts and be a force for what is good in this world. Avi, I wish you an extraordinary life, one filled with the everyday miracles of love, friendship, children, work that you are proud of, and a sense of how precious it all is. You have been and continue to be a blessing in my life, a wonderful, loving son, and I know you will be a great man. I am so happy to have a front row seat to your life, and I'm so grateful to be your mom. I will always be in your corner, and I'll always have your back, and I will always be your biggest cheerleader. I love you to the moon and back again. It's okay. Got it.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlu Adonai iti uneromema Shemo yachtav Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'hamitnaseh lechol lerosh Gotta find my. That's it. I'm not sure where the beginning is. Oh, there it is. There. For our first aliyah, we invite up Joshua and Marcy Blattwalker. Ya'amdu Yehuda Aaron ben Chaim v'Mindel bat Chaim v'Esther la'aliyah laTorah.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah.
Amen. V'sal matzot, solet, chalot belulot bashemen, ורקיקי מצות משוחים בשמן, ומנחתם בנזקיהם, והקריב הכהן לפני אדוני, ועשה את חטאתו ואת עולתו, ואת העיל יעשה זבח שלמים לאדוני על סל המצות, ויעשה הכהן את מנחתו ואת נזקו.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Yasher koach. For our second aliyah, we invite up Yitzi and Lauren Pietluk. Ya'amdu Yitzchak v'Leah Chana l'Aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vigilach hanazir, petach ohel moed et rosh nizro, velakach et se'ar rosh nizro, venatan al ha'esh, asher tachat zevach hashlamim, velakach hakohen et hazroa b'shelah min ha'ayil, וחלת מצה אחת מן הסל, ורקיק מצה אחד, ונתן על כפי הנזיר, אחר התקלחו את נזרו, והניף אותם הכהן תנופה לפני אדוני, קודש הוא לכהן, על חזה התנופה ועל שוק התרומה, ואחר ישתה הנזיר יין.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Yasher koach. For our third aliyah, we call Barry Dreyer to the Torah. Ya'amod Binyamin Emanu-El ben Avrum leib l'aliyah l'Torah. I'm sorry, there was a little mistake that may be in your program. Avi is the fourth aliyah, so there we are also going to invite Jason Stein to the Torah. Ya'amod Yehuda Daniel ben Yosef le'aliyah l'Torah.
No, you're doing it together. All right. The mayor of Birmingham has to do it together.
First, 26.
Okay.
She's joining us. Is it her? Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Zot Torat hanazir asher yidor korbano l'Adonai al nizro milvad asher tasig yado כפי נדרו אשר ידור, כן יעשה על תורת נזרו. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואל בניו לאמור, כה תברכו את בני ישראל, אמור להם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach.
Thank you, sir. You're great.
Baruch tiyeh.
I'm going to hold this up for you over here, Senator.
And for our special bar mitzvah, Ya'amod itil fishil ben Yisrael v'chana sheina la'aliyah la'torah habar mitzvah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasayim lecha shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach.
As the Torah is within our presence, we take time to think of those in our community, those who are in need of healing in body and spirit. We especially think of Linda Applebaum, Cindy Silverman Bailey, Sophia Berry, Katie Bates, Kaylee Bonds, Harold Seitling, Deborah Schragois, Sunita Costa, Melvin Davis, Brett Drummond, Marianne Freeman, Buster and Eileen Griffith, Elaine Gross, Josie Hatfield, Evelyn Held, Patty Hersberg, Norma Jill Jacobson, Corey Kessler, Bart Kolber, Jerry Lapidus, Wayne Lewis, Karen Mendel, Liz Slive, Chrissy St. Charles, Brenda Weinstein, Susie Ovson, Jesse Weisberg, and Elisa Rosemore Whitehead. If you are thinking of a loved one, a friend, someone who means so much to you, who is in need of healing in body and spirit, we invite you to rise and share that name out loud as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud and for those names that are still in our hearts, we have our Misha Berach. I don't know the page.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Sheberach imotenu mekor habracha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
For the honor of lifting and trusting the Torah, we welcome to the bima Susan Bernstein and Jeff Marbach. We rise together.
V'sot Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe.
In case you're wondering, there's a bit of a debate in Judaism when we lift the Torah as to how many columns of Torah that we need to show. It's amazing when custom becomes more powerful than halakha, Jewish law, and the standard halakha, which we thought was that you have to hold 3 columns of Torah to lift it up. That is a total fallacy. All you have to do is lift up the Torah, for those who wanted to know. Torah can.
So, because this week's Torah portion Naso talks about the customs in becoming a Nazirite, the Nazirites being people who were not Kohanim, but who sort of embodied the... Right, they did not get haircuts, they didn't drink wine, they could not come in contact with dead people, they were sort of imitating being Kohanim, the priests. We read in this week's Haftarah about the birth of Samson, the most famous Nazirite. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar binvim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher batorah u'Moshe avto ובישראל עמו, ובנביאי האמת והצדק.
Manoah and his wife watched. They saw something extraordinary. As the flame rose skyward from the altar, the angel of the Eternal went up in the flame. Seeing this, Manoah and his wife threw themselves to the ground, face downward. Only then did Manoah understand this was the truth of an angel of the Eternal. Never again did the angel of the Eternal appear to Manoah and his wife. So Manoah said to his wife, We shall surely die, because we have seen a diving being. But his wife answered him, Had the Eternal intended to take our lives, God would not have taken from us a burnt offering of our meal offering, and would not have shown us all of this, and given such a message just now. In time the woman gave birth to a child. She called him Samson. The boy grew up with the blessing of the Eternal. The Spirit of the Eternal first began to move him in the encampment of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el hane'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה, אדוני, מקדש השבת.
Amen. We rise together as we return the Torah back to the ark.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, בירם קרן לעמו. תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה, הללויה, הללויה. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים הם, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם, בכל נתיבותיה שלום, שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך, ונשוב חדש ימינו כקדם. יישר כוח.
I've been thinking about what words I wanted to share publicly in front of your temple family and friends and those watching at home. I remember the last time that we were together for a life cycle, and it was your father's unveiling a blessed memory. And the words that I said to you was that we can't find the perfect words that can fill the void in your heart, but it's your duty to keep your father's memory alive by continuing to talk about him. His pastimes, his passions, his hobbies, his love for you and your mother. And perhaps at this moment, I was going to try to sing the University of Florida fight song for him. Go Gators. But I can't imagine the excitement and sadness that's going on. And when someone becomes a bar mitzvah, it's a paradox that we wish nothing for our families. The past year has been rough, but you have found a way to be at this moment, making your mom and family so proud of you. There will be more difficult years to come when you want your dad there. But there's something I really want you to know and to remember this moment. Do you see everyone here for you? They love you, they support you, and I have no doubt that if you ever need them, they'll drop what they're doing by word and deed and be there for you. And al chat kama v'kama, and all the more so, as your mom said so beautifully about you, you will drop your needs for them. We are your family. We forever have you back. And I thought it was so fitting, it was so perfect, that you got Parshat Naso for your bar mitzvah. The threefold benediction that you chanted beautifully. These are the words that we say during the most joyous times and when we need strength the most. God will always bless you and protect you. God's face will always shine upon you and be gracious to you. And when moments are hard and when you face adversity in life, God will lift you up and forever bring you peace. On behalf of the clergy, our leadership, Mazel Tov, we are so proud of you, Avi. You're a Gittim Mishema, you're a mensch, and we can't wait to see what you do next. And we have some gifts for you. In this bag, on behalf of our brotherhood and sisterhood, I know they're watching me to make sure that I get this correct. Lack of sleep. We have a beautiful tzedakah box. And inside this envelope, you'll find a couple things. First is your certificate of bar mitzvah. And as a colleague, a mentor of mine said, this certificate is really important. Frame it, remember this day as you became a Jewish adult. Also, you find in here a certificate to study in your indigenous homeland, the state of Israel. Go there and thrive there and live on the land and find the historic and religious connection. And finally, you have a certificate from the Max Friedman Foundation from Endowment Fund. Money is to be used especially for camp, and if one day you want to go to Camp Anytown or any other Jewish camp, inside this envelope you'll find your certificates. I ask the congregation to rise once more as we take Avi before the ark, before private blessing. All right, boys, you come over.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi lach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, la'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We turn to page 99 and remain standing. Sorry for Elenu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remember these are beloved, not to be sad, but to remember. Our sorrow that accompanies their death does not diminish the joyful gift that was their lives. We remember their kindness, their nobility, and especially their goodness. They taught us to live, to love, inspiring us to the grace of their best selves. They have showered us with love and with light. As we remember them in our Kaddish, we bring their light back. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Robert Z. Ayland, Francis and Bernard Axel, Eleanor Bozeman Bennett, Frederick K. Bergman, Elsie Cohen Bernheim, Harold B. Black, Sophie Bookspan, Helen Bruck, Edith K. Brucksbaum, Florence Toro Eisner, Morris Finkel, Ann Mitnick Greenspoon, Barbary Heister, Harry R. Kaplan, Maria Katz, Nellie G. Copland, Fedora Krensman, Annie Cronenberg, Sam Leaf, Kay Goldstein Lewis, Felix Mendel, Abraham I. Papier, Mayor Randman, Lily Zuckerman Rabalski, Irene Lyons Rich, Julius Rittenbaum, Louis Rogoff, Max Harry Rubin, Lucille Wolf Rosenfeld, Sarah Rosenthal, Pete Roth, Sandra Russell, Minnie W. Salomon, Martha L. Shapiro, George Shapiro, Mike Slive, Stanley Solomon, Alex H. Sternman, Ronnie Taylor, and Caroline Warren. On heartfelt condolences in the recent passings of Patricia Patsy Cantor, mother of Dr. Julie Cantor Washko, Tony Laughlin, friend of Dr. Glenn Fleissig, Fred Lewis, uncle of Donna Eskenazi, Elena Kishinevsky Stern, daughter of Igor and Mila,
Sheila and Paul.
and Avi. You have so beautifully honored the memories of your father, Stephen, your grandparents, Burton and Francis, and Herb and Aline. May all their memories forever be a blessing. We rise together as a united congregation for Mourner's Kaddish, page 103. Yikadal, Vikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bielma, Divrach, Hirote, Vamlich, Malchute, Bechayachon, of Yomechon, Uvkayet, to call Beit Yisrael, Bagalah, Uizman, Kariv, Yimru,
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'olam Olamei Amaya. Yit Barach V'Yishtabach V'Yitba'ar V'Yitromam Nihit Naseh. V'Yitadar V'Yitalev V'Yitalal. Shemei Dekutsha.
Barichu.
Le'ela Min Kol Birchata B'Shirata. Tushbechata B'Nechamata. Damin Ram B'Yoma V'Yimru.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chaim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Osei Shalom B'Imromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'Imromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu me'al kol Yisrael me'imeru. Amen.
We welcome to the Bima, who will lead us in Kiddush in a bit, Alec and Zach Blatt, and all of Avi's friends, all of the Kinderlach, all the kids. Please come and join us on the Bima. We promise you, you don't have to lead Aiden Kelohenu. That's what Cantor's for, but come and surround us. Come on up, guys. It's okay. Front and center, Avi.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadoneinu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, mi Keloheinu, mi Kadoneinu, mi Kemalkeinu, mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Could be wine. I
Chaim.
hope you're. No, Avi's going to take it.
Oh. Yeah.
You can do it by proxy. It's grape juice. It's a good week. All right, hold it. You want to drink all of it? Is it grape juice? How many fingers do I have?
Oh man.
You know, that whole Haftorah about being a Nazarite won't apply to you. Okay, lift that challah. Cantor will do it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei
All right, rip it. Take a
avon.
bite. Gotta rip it. Take a bite. Take a bite. You gotta fulfill the mitzvah. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbos.
Thanks, guys. That's your challah, buddy.